Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Monsters and Mutants, Monster Hunter Raph, and Monster Hunter Leo. That's right, we're going to take a look at these two in the same video since they share the Monster Hunter theme. It's pretty cool. We've already got the four turtles as monsters, but Raph and Leo get an extra figure in this particular wave, dressed as monster hunters. Kind of got that Van Helsing thing going on, which is pretty cool. So the card backs are the same, featuring the monster turtles up here in the top corner, but then the blister bubbles down below that give us a great look at the Monster Hunter Raph and Leo, along with all of their included accessories within the packaging. And flipping around to the backside, well, they look just like the other figures, basically just giving us a cross-sell of all of the Monster Hunter and Monster Turtle figures. So let's go ahead and get these two Van Helsing lookalikes outside of the packaging and get a closer look at them. Alright, so we've got our Monster Hunters outside of the packaging, so we can take a closer look at them, and we'll start off with the scale here. Bringing the tape measure in, you can see that each of these turtles both stand just shy of the full 5 inches tall. I will say Raph seems a little bit taller than normal, but it also might be just because of the bulk of this coat that actually makes his head almost look like it's sitting a little bit higher, and then he's got that little bowler hat on too that also boosts his height just a little bit. But otherwise, they are pretty much on par with what we always see. In fact, one thing that's different with these guys from the Monster Turtles is that these guys do use some pre-existing sculpting underneath. You'll notice that the legs and the torsos there look like they come from just previous versions of the Turtles. Now, they do have new arm sculpts because they've got these cool like trench coat arms. But the coats over their bodies are made of just kind of like a soft, pliable plastic that sits over the basic body. In fact, you can probably pull those off. In fact, you can see it comes off of Leo very easily. I can just pull that right off of his arms there. So that's pretty cool. It's a good use of existing parts and new parts, but it works out just fine. Let's go and take a look at Raph first. I'm going to set Leo off to the side. We're going to focus on Raph's look here. He's definitely got more of like that classic kind of Van Helsing look, I feel like, with that bowler hat, that really crazy trench coat there with the big overcoat piece over the top there. It's only buttoned at the top, so it kind of billows out there. And like I said, this right here is all just like a soft, pliable plastic that's over the basic body. So you can see the way that kind of fits over there. The bowler hat is part of the sculpt of the head. You'll notice that the bill is that kind of softer plastic, but it's not removable. It is part of the head sculpt up there. Otherwise, the arms are brand new sculpts because they got the arms of the trench coat there. And then if you look underneath, he's got a new belt on. The belt actually kind of matches the color of the trench coat as opposed to being that darker brown that the turtle belts usually are. And he's got some fun little accessories here. Like hanging from his belt, you can see he does have some nice onions there to kind of, stir away the vampires. And then he's got this little strap around his leg that looks like it houses, I don't know, tiny little wooden stakes or maybe wooden bullets there. So he definitely seems much more to be the vampire hunter, and that definitely comes into play with his weapon accessory, which is a crossbow with a wooden stake on the end of it there. You can see it's got a big wooden stake here. Oh, and I see it does have the little bullet rounds for his little wooden bullets, I see. So very cool little accessory there. It is two-handed. You can get him to hold on to that. He does hold it better with one hand. The two-handed pose is possible, but because of the bulkiness of the coat on the arms, he doesn't get like the best shooting poses, honestly. Now, I gotta say, the fact that they made Raphael the full-on Van Helsing vampire hunter is a bit odd, considering that the vampire in the monster line is also Raphael. So I guess he's just gonna be hunting himself down. A bit weird. So the articulation on this guy, it's going to be a bit hindered because of that sculpt of the overcoat there. You can see the head still rolls around just fine as it always does. He does still have the same joints at the shoulders. The coat does get in the way just a little bit because it's a little big. The elbow articulation is also very weird because of the way the coat billows out on the arms there. So it doesn't bend too great. I mean, like, it definitely gets in the way of the sculpt sometimes. He does have swivels at the wrist, and then the legs are the typical hinge-like joints that go outwards, forwards, backwards, and swivels at the knee, and your standard joints at the knee. So it's about the same articulation we always see with the turtles, but it is gonna be blocked a little bit by the design of the coat he's wearing. So let's bring in Leonardo here. So Leonardo's look is a bit different. In fact, he's wearing kind of more of a basic trench coat and like a fedora hat there. And unlike Raphael, his hat is removable. You can actually pop that off of his head. You'll notice there's this little clip on the back. That's actually how it stays on his head, because it clips over the bandana on the back there, and that's how it keeps on his head. So that's actually pretty cool. I like that he's got the removable fedora. Like I said, you could pull the coat off too, but he's always going to have the coat on his arms because those are part of the sculpt. The rest of the body looks pretty basic as far as the turtles go, but he does also have a new belt that he's wearing underneath, where he's got some little hanging accessories just like with Raph. I'm not exactly sure what he's got over here. They almost look like little coins or something, but then he's also got these little bottles or little vials hanging there as well, so that is pretty cool. Maybe holy water or something, right? And then on the back, interestingly, he has the little scabbard for his katana blades. Now, this is removable. You can see it's just a little peg that plugs right there in his back. There's a hole in his trench coat, so if you don't want to display him with this, you don't have to. In fact, it's worth pointing out it's a bit loose. It doesn't actually fit in there all that great, and it's always going to kind of be a little bit loose on there. Even with the trench coat pulled up, I noticed it just doesn't really fit in the hole on his back too well. It's just, I think it's because of the type of plastic. It's a bit of that softer plastic, so it just doesn't really stay in the hole very good. It just kind of falls out there. So it's worth noting though, he's got those katanas. So he's got his classic Leonardo swords if you want to display him with those. But in addition, he also comes with these little daggers. These are actually a lot more fun for the character, I feel like, but it's cool that you have the option to display him with his regular swords or with these. Raphael only came with the crossbow and no size. So it's kind of interesting that they chose to give Leonardo his basic weapon. Now, his articulation is also the same. His head rolls around there. It's a little tight. I don't know why his head's so tight on there, but the ball joint is the same. The arms move really good at the shoulders. He does have swivels at the elbow, bends at the elbow, swivels at the wrist, and then the same articulation in the legs as Raphael. And his coat doesn't hinder the movement near as much as Raph's, so you should be able to get some pretty standard poses out of your Leonardo here. One other thing about this Leonardo that I gotta say is kind of neat. If you basically give him the regular swords, and if you ignore this belt under here, in fact, maybe you'll find a way if you want to customize it and replace it, but if you ignore this belt here, he is almost basically a trench coat disguise Ninja Turtle. Like just a standard classic style Ninja Turtle wearing a trench coat with a fedora hat. So that's kind of another option for displaying this guy if you want to, and I thought that was kind of cool. Something I didn't even realize until I opened him up and started playing around with him. So there you guys go. That actually finishes up the Monsters and Mutants line and gives us 2 Monster Hunter turtles to display with the 4 Monster Turtles. Now, like I said, I thought it was a little weird that we've got the turtles both in Monsters and then Raph and Leo are also Monster Hunters, but it's still a really fun line of turtle variants in this particular lineup. Does come straight from the animated series where they're doing the Monsters and Mutants storyline, and I think these are some of the most fun in the entire Turtles line. Now, I don't think the Monster Hunters are near as fun or inspired as the Monsters themselves, but they're still a nice touch, and if you're a fan of that classic horror stuff, I think you'll really dig these. I gotta give a very special thanks to the folks at Playmates Toys for sending these guys along so we can get a good look at them outside of the packaging. These are hitting store shelves right now, so happy hunting, my friends. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. That way you never miss out on any of my toy reviews. Until next time, my friends.